Hello and welcome to VRTV. My name is Zena. Joining me on today's show is the CEO of Virtual Insight, a studio looking into how to teach piano using VR. Also joining me is Matt Morgan of Infinite360, the first studio in the UK to receive the Nokia OZO. Before any of that, there's the news roundup, and I'll also be announcing the winner of the EVE Fanfest competition. Yesterday, during the Google I/O keynote speech, it was revealed that Google will be releasing a brand new HMD called Daydream. The new mobile-based HMD is not limited to a specific phone, unlike the Gear VR, and it comes with a wireless controller that includes 3 degrees of freedom, which makes it a step up from a standard controller, but not as tracked as the Oculus Touch, for example. Many partners have been revealed for the device, and VR Focus will continue to report on the ongoing event. It's great news for those looking into upgrading or building their own PC for VR, now that Nvidia have announced their new series of cheaper and more efficient graphics cards. The GeForce GTX 1070 and 1080 are the latest GPU game changers that perform at a higher rate than the previous 900 series, which are currently the recommended minimum graphics to handle VR. The 1070 is the cheaper of the two and is set to be released in June at $379 US, and the more powerful 1080 will be available at the end of this month for $599. And finally, Square Enix has released its first commercial VR title now that Hitman Go VR Edition has made a move into the virtual world. The VR edition of the turn-based mobile spin-off of Hitman features all 91 levels and includes all content updates, so players can get all the benefits at breakneck speed without in-game purchases. Hitman Go, the VR edition, is available on the Oculus Rift for just shy of $10 US, and it's $2 cheaper for the Gear VR. For any more on those stories and also the previously mentioned Google I/O, check out vrfocus.com. And now it's for the announcement of the EVE Fanfest competition winner, who is Zane H. Congratulations to you. You were absolutely right that I was seen with the hat and gloves around the 7:25 mark, and Hilmar was seen around 13:20 with Empires of Eve and the bag. Make sure we're able to get in contact with you. For now, Dr. Cyril Goddard of Virtual Insight will be joining me. I'd like to welcome my first guest, Cyril Goddard from Virtual Insight. Welcome to VRTV.
Thanks for having me.
So if you could explain what Virtual Insight is all about, where you came from, and what you're focusing on.
We were already very interested in VR, and this young artist came to us for several reasons, but we just thought, yeah, maybe we can do something together. We came up with, I think, what is a fairly original idea, where technology and artistical aspects are mixing and blending in a nice way, we hope.
So what is it? It's a mastering of piano tutorial?
So yes, so essentially at the core of it, it's what has been around for a very long time. It's masterclasses of piano. We have a beginner course planned, but essentially it came full-fledged when because our artist is a piano concertist, is played concert Gebouw and other places, so it brings in to the picture a really long experience of playing piano, of vision of what music is. So it's a bit beyond just the technical and the fingers and getting the notes right. This being said, I mean, it's also something which, in the end, leads you to really play in a concert, and we are going to have a recording of a concert in the beginning of July. It used to be very difficult to have, when you reach a certain level in piano, you used to travel to masters everywhere in Europe. I mean, from Liszt to Bach, depending on which century you were living. And this time, the master comes to you, and it was not really possible beforehand because, you know, on a small screen it doesn't make the feel the same way. Here, VR immerse you. You have this presence of the tutor, and we hope that the interactivity is going to be interesting enough, but really it follows you as an individual, not a delivered set course.
And in terms of using virtual reality while learning the piano, I could only imagine with the headset on and trying to play the piano, how does that necessarily work out?
Yes, so there is a combination. So we are not only targeting VR, we are also targeting other platforms, and we are thinking very much that one thing that will work very well are AR platforms. But in VR, the idea is that you have essentially the lesson going on, so you are really immersed there, and then there is an interactivity whereby the positioning of your hand is calculated, and you play with the headsets. So hopefully some headset allow you to have a look at the keyboard if you want to. And one of the side aspects, and we hope that it's going to work, is that you know, with a flexible keyboard USB, we are going to bring you into a Steinway hole maybe, or something like this, without any copyright being involved or infringed, and it will hopefully help also people who don't necessarily have access to the full-fledged instrument to give it a shot. I mean, it just you know, countries where maybe this kind of things is a bit more remote, and you play on simpler instruments, so USD keyboards and things like this will allow you to play while following the master.
And I understand that there's going to be a concert in July?
It's going to be very likely to be the King's Place, the King's Hall, and we will make as much as advertisement as possible. We would like to see a lot of people there. We would like to see music aficionados, clearly, but we want anybody who is interested in VR. You are going to be filmed, and you are going to end up in the series, in the product itself. So if you are passionate about technology, come by all means. I mean, it's going to be we hope a first in terms of getting the people to share a concert, but it's going to be transcribed into a gamification experience.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Cyril.
You're most welcome.
If you stay with me, my next guest, Matt Morgan from Infinite360, will be joining us.
Summer's gone, winter too. All that's left is me and you. So let the stories unfold.
If they knew the misery dyslexics had going to schools,
I accept and play because it's saying something that I think ought to be said.
If you want to be an actor, don't. If you need to be an actor, do.
I've been walking 9 months and I got run over.
I would have been executed in the late 1980s along with every other lefty.
He said, it's a part of my life I just have buried and I don't want to think about it again.
Joining me and Cyril now is Matt Morgan. Welcome to VRTV.
Hello, thank you for having me.
You're from Infinite360. Could you tell us a little bit about the company?
Yes, it's a newly formed company. It came from a production house called Infinite House, and they have been doing a successful series for Sky called Living the Life, which is basically changing the format of the interviewees with celebrities. So they would have like Sir Peter Blake or Ken Russell, actually in conversation with each other. So there's no hierarchy, it's just a good conversation, and it gets all the egos out of the room. And so they've done a successful series of that, and that is being, now we are going to be producing that in VR.
So with Infinite360, will they be coming off the back of that kind of momentum?
Yeah, we are positioning ourselves as immersive content craftsmen. So it's so much about the content that we'll be providing. There just seems to be a plethora of headsets coming out at the moment, and there's just not that content, a good quality content, and that's where we're hoping to plug the market and have good quality content coming out.
Absolutely, and I understand that you're touching on medical VR
yes,
as well.
we're in talks with one of the leading hospitals, London hospitals at the moment, and we're talking with them to do a live broadcast surgical procedure, and also for the training element. With students around the world will be able to actually immerse themselves in the training for this through the VR.
I mean, that's what me and Cyril were talking about earlier in terms of using VR for training, which being able to fully immerse yourself into something. For the students to actually be there, even before they go their first time into surgery, for them to experience what it's like. Having a book like that to translate into the actual experience, and this is what VR is going to bring to the medical side of things. It's really going to help them, that next step of getting closer, of educating them about the experience of doing surgery and what it actually feels like. And equally so, it's a step away from having a music book open and having someone tell you over your shoulder.
Yeah, there are many aspects to it. One interesting aspect in the medical is that when you're a doctor and you're confronted for the first time with all this environment and so on, stress kicks in very quickly. And VR is known to, it's already used in Canada and as a treatment for phobia. I mean, it's just a bit everywhere because the immersion is such, the impression of presence is such that it is a good way to be not too close to the reality, but not far remote enough that it doesn't relate.
And one of the most important aspects about creating all these pieces of content is that you use the Nokia OZO.
Yeah, we're lucky enough to partner with Nokia to be like the first company in Europe to own one of these OZO. They're like the golden goose egg at the moment. Everyone wants one. And what the OZO provides is a easier production process. So we can live stream VR content, 360 content. It does an automatic stitch. You can have the preview there. So this whole process of what used to be was the GoPro setup and having to do a stitch together, that whole process. Now we're able to use the OZO. It's one lead out straight to a desktop and preview it straight away. So that is absolutely fantastic for us.
Thank you so much, Matt, for joining us on VRTV, and you too, Cyril. It was an absolute pleasure.
Great talking to you.
Pleasure here too.
And thank you for tuning in. I'll catch you next time.